Ladies and gentlemen, come gather around, come gather around, come gather around. Today, we're doing valve cover gaskets on a Toyota Corolla 4AGE on my fake Super 7. Oops. So while this is a Toyota Corolla engine, pretty much any twin cam motor with separate valve covers or even an individual valve cover is going to be the same. This is going to be pretty easy. I'm going to use a little bit of gasket goop in a tube. I got gaskets, lots of different companies. This one's, I've never used these ones before, so I'm not sure about that brand. A little bit of paper towel to wipe off some greasy stuff. I got this cool cordless tool. I'm keen on some sponsorship, just saying. All right, so we gotta get in there and get everything out of here. Keep track of everything. This cover is just something I made because I put the spark plug wires through a different way because there's no distributor on this motor anymore. I removed it. So, cool polished cover. Oh yeah. And used to be a street sign. Yeah, because we keep costs down here. Now I'm going to take the covers off. I'm not going to do a whole lot of cleanup in here. There's just basically a couple of fancy chrome nuts holding this on. This thing's leaking a fair bit of oil, so we're going to try and fix that. There's a couple places it's going to leak. It could be the gasket itself is screwy. It could be the seals under the nuts are screwy. But it is going through some oil. Part of it's the engine is tired. But here we go. Let's see what it looks like inside. Not going to work. Okay, I need a screwdriver. Add a screwdriver to the list. All right. The keen ones of you are going to go, Mr. Wildwood, didn't you say you should never use a screwdriver as a pry bar? You should use a pry bar? Yeah, I got a pry bar. Okay, I was thinking of you. Just when I did that, I was thinking of you. So I don't like prying on any machined surface, so I'm just going to try and get in here where I can get in there, and it should, with a little bit of persuasion, come up pretty easy. And of course, now that I'm trying to video this, it totally won't. So, cool beans for me. There are various places I can pry in here. This thing's really stuck. It's really stuck. I'm going to use a screwdriver, don't tell anyone. Oh yeah, there we are. In the old poppin'-offinator. You don't want to pry super tight super hard, because if this thing is stuck because you forgot to undo all of the bolts, things are going to break, and then you'll wish you hadn't done that. So I'm just trying to pull relatively evenly here to try and get this to come up without breaking anything. I haven't had these off for a long time, and these are definitely garbage. Maybe I can pry these off. This is actually a pretty old engine. Some folks have said or suspect that Toyota really tried to rip off the old Lotus twin cam engine from the 60s and 70s when they designed this. Apparently it's got the same bore and the same stroke, and they kind of sound the same. So it's possible that they did. It was an interesting design. It's just Toyota made it reliable, which is kind of cool. Someone's going to comment and say Lotus engines are reliable. Okay. You know, the Elan and the Elise and all that, I think they all use Toyota engines now. So I guess they have become reliable. Hooray. Still stuck on that one. Oh, there we go. We got a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Pull that guy off. Boom. Relatively clean inside. I don't have crankcase ventilation on this motor. It just has this little filter, which is it's really bad for your motor oil because you're not taking all the fumes out and burning them in the motor. It just kind of hopefully goes to atmosphere. It's not the best way to go, but since I ran the independent throttles, it wasn't super easy to do. Old gasket comes out. Put that in the garbagerie. And then we're going to put the new gasket on there and the new seals. So Let's pull it out of this sweet container. I'm not going to use these because they go on the cover. Maybe I should. I guess we'll find out. New thingies for the thingy. Oh, it squeaks. I hate it. It's a squeaker. All right. And you can't really screw up with this. There's really no way to go wrong. I mean, if you're messing up with this, you got some issues you got to work out for yourself. That goes in like so. Should stay. I don't like using silicone to hold these together, but it may hold it together for you a little better. The other thing is the corner up here where the caps that hold the cam down meet with the cylinder head. It's kind of an edge in there, and it's hard for this seal to fit a really tight square corner. So I'm going to put a little bloop of silicone to make that seal a little better. I'm also getting rid of all the oil, and holy crap, this thing's definitely looking like it's leaking all over the place. So we'll fix all of that. If anybody has a set of cams for a 4A GE in the neighborhood of 270 or 280 degree, I'm open for some sponsorship. I can cross your palm with a little bit of silver. All right. I like to use Permatex Ultra Black. There's others. Ultra Gray is pretty good. A little bloop on your finger there. It doesn't take a lot. And I'm just putting it in the corner between the cam cap and the valve cover. It doesn't need to be a lot, just a little bit. So try to bring the cover in so you can see that. Not the cover, the camera. So a little bit of silicone on either side of that cam cap. That's what you want to make it easier to seal. Probably a little shaky. It's because I'm so excited and nervous about doing this that I can barely contain myself. So that's got some goop. Everything else is a flat machine surface. This is nice and clean. Even the underside of the valve cover is pretty clean. Gonna slide this on over. Deal with a little bit of the icky in here. Icky patootie. And then we got a couple of these. New seals for the studs, because that's how we roll. Zip. And then with that little bit of goop in the corners, and new seals on the studs, this thing should be dandy. There we go. One down. Now we're going to do this one. I think I need to wipe that off my finger. Okay. Same thing, got the pry bar on this side. See if it'll come up nicely. Probably won't because it's on camera. If I did this off camera, it would totally go smooth silk. Because I'm showing it off, it's not. I rebuilt this engine in roughly 2004 or 2005. I don't really remember. This car got finished and licensed in 2006. So somewhere in there I rebuilt the motor. And rebuilt it was just rings and bearings and just freshened it up. Since then it's got maybe 25,000 kilometers on it. A couple seasons of autocross, and it definitely needs to be refreshed again. But I'm not quite ready to do that. I'll probably do that in the winter. When my level 1 mechanic students are rebuilding their engines, I'll probably bring this one in and rebuild mine as well. It's always neat to see real life examples being done as well. So that's off. Paper towel. A little bit of goop. Making it nice and clean. I used to have a glass pack muffler on this. If you got a Thrush Magnum glass pack, not affiliated but open to sponsorship, they're a perforated core glass pack and louder than the depths of hell itself. It was a bit too much. So I've changed to more of a turbo style muffler because my ear is about 22 inches away from the tailpipe on this car, and it's ungodly for sound. Sounds fun, but not for 4 hours driving to Vancouver. All right, back to the Permatex Ultra Black. I do like Permatex products. Not affiliated, just a happy camper, but open to sponsorship. All right, a little bit in that corner, and in this corner, wearing the black goop. Permatex. All right. Here's my paper towel. And new gasket in the valve cover. This engine is so close to the engine hood, I actually machined the valve cover tower for the oil cap shorter, and I machined the oil fill cap shorter as well, just so that it would just clear the hood. There we are. A couple of the fancy schmancies. Blip. Blip, blip, blip. Oh, let's put some nuts on there first. The air nuts, that's what they are. Not using it. I didn't make it fit this. Not using it. Carrying on. This is really just a decorative plate, just to hide the hole so it doesn't look awful. That's all it's for. Some guys have said I should have put a gasket in there because then it won't get water in this. Yeah, my car has no doors. I don't think I'm going to care. And we've got this monster, which goes in like so. That should hold all of that. And there we go. Hopefully, no more leaks. Another thing I like to do when I'm working on somebody's vehicle, not necessarily mine, but it's a video and I better do a good practice here. If you clean off wherever you are working, then the customer of whoever's car you're working on thinks you were in there and made a positive difference in their vehicle. So it doesn't take a lot of effort. It just makes it look like you gave their pride and joy a little bit of love to make it that much more wonderful. Same thing when you're taking the vehicle back out to the parking lot. Just a quick wipe of the dashboard to make it less dusty, and the customer thinks you cleaned the whole car. It's kind of, doesn't take a lot of time, but it makes a little bit of difference. Gives people that warm and fuzzy thing. If people feel warm and fuzzy, they tend to like what you do. So there we are. This engine needs a cleaning. But if I rebuild it this fall, I'll clean it when I rebuild it. I ain't cleaning it this year. So there we go. Nice, good enough. One last look, make sure you got no tools kicking around. And we can put the hood back on. Yay!